Hi everyone, and thanks for joining us on another edition of Around the Horn. I'm Mike Monaco. This week the Gatemen had a pair of home games against YD and then against Cotuit. In the first one against the Red Sox, there was some nice defense. The Gatemen struck early, and Tucker Simpson pitched out of quite a few jams, especially in the fifth inning.
2-1 pitch from Smith. Chopper to third, Blandino to second, and then they'll try to get him at first, and he is safe. But scoring from third is Cole Sturgeon. The Gatemen have a lead. It's 1-0. Gashu did not play on Wednesday. Popped up. In shallow left field going out is Gross. Makes the catch. Very athletic play by Ethan Gross out there in left center field. Toth and Sturgeon congratulate him on what was a very nice play.
Here's the pitch. On the ground, right at Podratz. He fields, spins, the throw to second in time, on to first. A double play.
2-2 pitch coming from Tucker Simpson. He's taken a long time. Here it comes. Call it strike three. Over the outside corner, Tucker Simpson gets out of a jam here in the top of the fifth inning. Leaves the bases loaded.
On Sunday against Cotuit, Trey Killian got the start and racked up quite a few strikeouts in the early going. 1-2, Killian, another strikeout.
Back-to-back looking.
Back-to-back Ks, he nails the outside corner, 2 away to start the second.
2-2, call it strike three. Sixth strikeout of the night for Trey Killian.
Brett Pirtle had a 3-hit game to propel the offense and also had his first few stolen bases of the summer in the same inning. The 1-2 pitch home. Pirtle just flicks his hands out there, has a single that bloops into right center field. A 1-out base knock for the second baseman, and the Gatemen have a runner aboard. The 1-2 pitch, Pirtle is off, swing and a miss by Lipson. Pirtle moves up to second. A good ride into the bleachers. The 0-1, Pirtle off again. The throw is low. Pirtle slides in safely, his second stolen bag of the inning. Man at third now for Trevor Podrat. And after a nearly 40-minute rain delay, the teams returned to the field for the 8th inning, and Wareham made a late comeback bid against the Kettleers. Miller's 1-1. Laced out to right field. That one will get down over the second baseman's head. Rosenbaum is coming in, and he will score. The throw to third now sails into left field. It gets past the left fielder now, and Chinea will come home to score. McMullen moves up to third base. An incredible play there, and Wareham has cut this lead in half. The score is 5-3.
My name's Kurt McCune, and you're watching Wareham Gatemen Around the Horn.
With me again here, I have head coach Cooper Ferris. So before we get into everything that's happened this past week and catching up with the Gatemen, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started with the Cape League and your baseball background in general?
Well, just my dad was a coach, and I grew up, being around it all my life, and then I played, there in high school and college, and started coaching. I coached there at the college I played at for a couple of years, and then I went to started at a high school as a head coach. Been a head coach all my life, except for those 2 years in college, and then. When I was coaching the Valley League in Virginia. It's another summer collegiate league, and we'd won the championship in 2000. And Mr. Weil called, I guess in September, and asked if I'd be interested in coming up and coaching the Gatemen. And told him, I'd like for my wife to look at it. So. Anyway, make a long story short, they flew me up here, and she loved it, and so we decided to do it. So that's basically the scenario there with that. Some scouts had told him that, that I'd be a good fit for him, and so that was 13 years ago. So
been here ever since.
Right.
So the transition from the Valley League up to the Cape, do you notice any differences, or is it pretty much
the same? The Cape has more quality. And quantity. In the Valley League, I had some really good players there. David Eckstein, Juan Pierre, those 2 MVPs and World Series and things like that. But, we had some good players, but there wasn't as many of them.
Not so you were missing the consistency that you have here with the Gatemen.
You'd have probably 5 or 6 real good ones, and
Yeah.
up here you got 21.
Right.
So that's basically the difference.
Yeah. So when you were a ball player yourself, what position were you?
I played third base my freshman and junior year in college, and second base my sophomore and senior year. Even had to catch a couple of games against Alabama. So
You just did it all.
yeah, well, our catchers got kicked off the team for a week, so I had to end up catching.
Step in.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you're a coach, what is one of the toughest things that you have to do? Being a head coach and having all that authority.
Well, right now the biggest thing is Mr. Wild had a philosophy of getting better every day. Each one of the guys, and that's my philosophy. My job's to go out there, I feel like, every day and try to make each player a little bit better and try to tweak a few things and share a few things and that I've encountered going to clinics and being around a lot of great coaches and, just trying to basically help the guys, take their game to another level. And I feel like if we're doing that, the wins are going to take care of themselves. And right now, the biggest thing I'm having, is we haven't done real well this year, and it's been trying to, it's just a passion for the game and trying to keep that passion burning, and it's hard to do when you're not winning very much. And I think it seemed like everything that could happen's happened to us this year. We're playing probably with about 3 healthy position players right now, and the guys are grinding. They're playing, through some aches and pains,
right.
And we don't have a lot of depth. So it's the biggest thing is just keeping the spirits up and things. But it's like I tell them, if you love the game, that's not going to be a problem. You can't let these things happen. The losing take away your love and your passion for what you're doing and your passion for getting better. And the biggest thing is playing with their hearts.
Right.
And I think most of them are doing that. They're in a great situation right now because this next week and a half, 2 weeks, just about every major league team will be here, and that's their passion. That's but the biggest thing I try to convey to them is don't lose the love for the game, because that's what's going to keep things going when times are tough. And it's great to get out there and showcase your talents and God-given abilities and try to, a lot of times in this level, guys are afraid to make changes because, they
Doing it for so
they've
long.
done it for so long their way, and we're seeing some changes being made because a lot of them aren't having a lot of success doing it the way they were doing it, and we're trying to add to their abilities and their physical and mental nature.
Of course. As athletes, it's tough to, get into a slump like we're losing. Like it's hard to keep, like you said, it's hard to keep the spirits alive when, you're working through a tough first half of the season. So what sort of things do you say like pregame or after game to make sure that they're keeping positive and they're going through something tough right now, but, they just have to keep plugging away and, find a little bit of room to improve.
Well, I think when you get in situations like we're in right now, you find out a lot about people. You find out about, what's inside here. You find out about heart. You find out who's gonna just shut it down. You really get to know people here, and that's going to be huge. I have to write reports on these guys, and that's going to be huge. To see who the fighters and scrappers are, and who the guys are that are going to fold under the pressure.
Right.
It's like diamond. You got to put it to the fire before you get one. And that's basically what you're going to find is who the diamonds are.
Right.
And there's a lot of lessons to be learned right now, and we talk about that all the time, paying attention to what we're being taught and what lessons we're learning, and don't ignore the pressure. You got to explore it and see what's out there, and we've got a lot of guys doing that. We got some that aren't, and that's a lot about what Major League Baseball or a life's even going to be about. When things get tough, what are you going to do?
Yep,
And,
rise above it.
it's going to get tough.
Yep.
I told them about 3 weeks ago, this game will try to get you. It'll try to bury you, and it'll try to hurt you. And right now, it's doing that. It's pounding on all of us, and
Yep.
the coaches included, and the organization, because I know how hard they work. But we've got a lot of good people, and we just got to keep grinding and try to get better every day and learn the lessons that we're being taught. And that's basically what we talk a lot about. Is trying to, don't really talk about winning. We want to win, but we talk about if we're getting better every day, that's going to take care of itself. And I saw some positive things last night. We didn't quit. We fought through and
Absolutely.
came
A
back
great-
and had a chance to tie the game
Yeah.
there in the ninth. And
Good 8th inning.
so it's just like I said, things are not clicking on all cylinders. One day we get the good pitching, we don't hit. Next day we'll hit a little bit and don't pitch.
Right.
So it's just not
Trying to
clicked.
find that equal.
Yeah, well,
equilibrium.
but again, that goes to show you that it's out there. It's in there.
Yep.
We just gotta all get on the same page, and
Absolutely.
things will start rolling. But we're just missing a couple little ingredients, and each night, and hopefully, we'll put them all together and make a good finish of this.
Of course. So watching, the games played so far, you can tell that you have a lot of trust in your pitching.
Yeah.
Your the pitchers that you put in there, like last night, you let Trey chip away. He got into a little bit of a hard first inning, but you let him finish through, and he ended up playing great. Do you, in the back of your mind, you had a little action in the bullpen, but you let them stay in and you let them fight away. And
Trey did this once before. He had a bad outing there about 3 outings ago, and then he had he came back and gave us 3 really good ones. And talked to Trey a little bit in the dugout. I thought he was trying to be a little too fine last night. He said they were hitting good pitches, but they weren't hitting it with his best velocity and his best stuff. And in the second inning when he went out there, I don't know if you remember, he broke a couple of bats, and his velocity looked like it jumped up probably 4 or 5 miles an hour because he wasn't trying to place the ball.
Right.
And I talked to him a lot about, I wish, I'd rather them miss committing to what they're doing than trying to be too fine and too perfect. I'd rather them, a fastball missing at 85 is not the same thing as a fastball missing at 91. It's or 86. It's just, there's a huge difference there. And if you noticed it looked like he was throwing harder in the second, third, fourth, and fifth. It looked like he was getting after him a little bit. In the first inning, it looked like he was just trying to hunt and peck. And that's basically what we told him. And I'm glad he finished like that and left on a positive note, because he really competed there in those middle innings. And there's an old saying in baseball: you can lose a game in the first inning, but you can't win one in the first inning. So we've jumped out and scored runs in the first inning, then we end up losing. But generally, if the pitcher's not focused and ready in that first inning, it'll get you. And that's just an unwritten rule in baseball.
So we've talked about this before, like taking the summer and really developing those players. So letting Trey, fight through the adversity that he saw in the first inning is great. It almost helps his confidence, because he knows, okay, I was in a little bit of a little bit of a rut, but he plugged through and he did.
Yeah.
I mean, he finished great.
Finished good, real good.
Yep. So this Thursday, the players will be at Wareham Crossing signing autographs. How important do you think it is having the players be active in the community? And
I think it's very important. I think that's part of the whole experience, and that's what they need to get used to. The biggest thing, when you've been blessed with abilities and things like that, you need to give back. Because if you don't give back, they're going to take it's going to be taken away from you.
Yep.
And I was a big believer in going to the schools to read, just getting out there and being in the community, and if you get bigger than that, then you don't need to be blessed with what you've been blessed with. And
Absolutely.
going to see kids in hospitals and that need you. Last night we had some in wheelchairs up there, and guys were signing autographs for them. But I'm a firm believer that if you don't give back, then it'll be taken away. And it's just it's just the way life works. It's not only in that sports, but it's in everything you do.
My name is Brett Purtle, and I'm watching Wareham Gatemen around the horn.
Hi guys, I'm here with pitcher Kurt McCune. So Kurt, you had a very impressive freshman year at LSU. You were SEC Pitcher of the Week. You were 2011 Baseball Freshman All-American Second Team. So how did it feel coming in as a freshman to such a great school? How did you accomplish all the great things that you did your freshman year?
Well, obviously I couldn't have asked for a better freshman year. Coming out of high school, I wasn't a high prospect at all. So I was just hoping for some playing time really at LSU. And when I came in and actually got a lot of work in and had a pretty good year, that was pretty surprising, but I'm very fortunate to be able to do that.
So maybe those nerves you were talking about kind of overcompensated.
Yeah.
Did you feel any pressure, as becoming an upperclassman with such an impressive freshman year?
A little bit, but we have a lot of talent at LSU, and I knew that there'd be guys right beside me that'd pick me up, and if I had a bad game, and if they had a bad game, I'll pick them up. So it's nice to play at a big school like that where we have guys all over the place that can play.
Kind of what teammates do, huh?
Yeah, big time. A lot of competition.
So talk to us, as an athlete, do you have any rituals you do on a day-to-day basis or before you pitch?
Not too much. One thing I like to do is we have B12 energy shots. I got to take me a little shot of B12, make sure I'm really pumped up for the games and everything, but I'm not a real superstitious person.
So with me here, I have Tina Lipson. You missed a little bit at the beginning of the season with a hamstring injury. Can you tell us what you were doing? Making sure you were ready to get back and competing.
For me, hittings and playing is it's a lot of mental work and everything. Obviously it's physical too, but for me, injuries and everything like that's mental and playing on the field. So basically taking mental reps. I asked my roommate Trevor a lot of questions about the pitchers and everything to make sure I stayed sharp, and as soon as I was healthy enough to play, if I wasn't behind enough, I was good to go.
Yeah. Something you have to keep on top of, obviously. You want to make sure that you'll get back and not miss a beat. So talk to us a little bit about how you're doing right now.
Now I'm probably 95, close to 100%. I don't want to hurt it again just because hamstrings linger, and it'd be bad because I'd have to go home. But I'm just trying to do what I can. I should be back in the field in the next couple days, and my team has been supportive also. So.
Well, that's their job, of course. Yeah. So what people need to understand is that this is technically an off season for you, and so you want to go back to college completely healthy.
Right. Definitely. Being healthy is the biggest thing. You're not healthy, obviously you can't play. Everyone has their struggles. I feel like everyone, has an injury that they've had to play through, whatnot. But the biggest thing for me is getting through the rest of this season, getting to 100% before the end, and then I will rest my body when I get home.
Joined with me here, I have Brett Purtle. So Brett, you took a route that seems pretty common in baseball, taking a year and doing junior college. What was it like going from junior college to a big university?
It was just more consistent pitching, more consistent velocity, more consistent players on the field. So it was just more consistent all the way around.
So are you happy with how everything turned out? Taking a year at junior college?
Yeah, junior college was a place where you could just get better, focus on stuff you need to get better with, and take a route to go into a good D1 hopefully. So it worked out.
Absolutely. So you actually come from a family of baseball players. What was it like growing up having two brothers playing college baseball as well?
It was good. Them and my dad, and they taught me a lot. So they went through a lot of the struggles first before I did. So they got to help me
pave the road for you.
Yeah, they helped me learn from their mistakes. So it helped.
I'm Tino Lipson, and you're watching Wareham Gatemen, and this is Around the Horn.
Well, this is our 9th year. Al went to the Council of Churches 9 years ago and asked the ministers and priests on the council if the women of the church would cook, because they were feeding the men subs and pizzas, and they knew the women of the church would make something better. So our priest, Father David, at the time, volunteered our church, and I volunteered to help him, and 9 years later, we're still here. To me, the men are just so great and polite, and they're just the nicest bunch of men, and they're great with the kids. And this year we have about 5 or 6 kids that are coming that I asked to come, and they'll go around and they'll sign baseballs, and my grandchildren have been here in the past, and they're just a great bunch of guys. And it's amazing the way they eat. It's just, they just come in and they just eat like you would not believe. We always make lasagna. We've done this. It's the same menu for 9 years. Lasagna, salad, garlic bread, ice cream with chocolate sauce and cookies. Well, we enjoy doing it. It's, we have a great group of women here in the church that volunteer, and the men. And it's fun to cook for them. It's a nice thing to do for them. Every Thursday at Good Shepherd's table, and Fran's one of the cooks at Good Shepherd's table with me. And this is Roseanne. Roseanne's another volunteer tonight, helping us cook.
The Church of the Good Shepherd is doing a fundraiser to add money to the general funds. And we're doing the lobster rolls that we were so noted for during the Swan Fest, and we haven't done that for a few years, so we decided to reinstitute it, but do it from the church. And the lobster rolls are going to sell for $10 each, and with that you'll get chips and pickles and a lobster roll. We're going to have some desserts for sale additional, and then we'll have all kind of drinks. But it's going to be July 19th. It's a Friday night from 5 to 7 p.m. And you can either eat in here or take it out. So whichever it fits your schedule better.
All right.